Righty, everyone. It is the 19th of December. Welcome back to the Biz Audio Podcast, available wherever you get your podcast. My name is Max, and for the final Biz Audio of the year, well, as this is planned to be the final Biz Audio of the year, you never know what could happen in the audio industry, but as the final Biz Audio, I will be nice. As promised, I will give you a rundown on my week that was the Kyle and Jackie O Work Experience Week / KIIS Network Week. I spent the last week from the 8th to the 12th of December. I was at the ARN. If you don't know what ARN is, it is the Australian Radio Network. I was at the ARN New North Sydney headquarters, spending a week with the amazing KIIS Network. I'll run it down day by day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, as well as Friday. Monday was pretty good. I got in about 8:30. I rocked up to ARN reception. I got to watch the final hour of the Kyle and Jackie O show, and this was the only time that I saw Kyle Sandilands. It was a good experience watching the last hour of the show, and it was great to meet people like intern Pete, school teacher Lou, executive producer Nat, and they were all lovely people, as well as Brooklyn Ross that I got to say hello to, and I'll talk a bit more about that later. But it was really good to see how hard they work to produce the great content, and even when the ratings aren't on, and even when it's almost the end of the year, they still try very, very hard over at the Kyle and Jackie O show. Right after that, I spent a fair bit of time with the Pickup, recording some of their ad reads as well as their breaks. And as I'm speaking right now, or just about to be, this will be about to start the final show of the Pickup. It is currently 2:48 p.m. as time of recording this. 3 to 4 will be the final Pickup show forever. So in the article on Radio Today, I would have gotten it wrong. It was the second last week of the Pickup, not the final. But it was good to see what goes into it. And I also got to see some of their podcast for the Life Uncut podcast. And very, very similar. The Pickup radio show and the Life Uncut podcast, most of the content is quite similar. From what I could understand. And the way that they recorded it was quite good. The amount of effort that goes into producing it with their producer Grace was quite interesting to see. And my Monday was quite, not boring, but I would say just getting a feel of the water. Tuesday, I hopped in with sound designer Chris. He showed me all the ins and outs of creating great openers, ad breaks, and what makes KIIS FM sound so tight, so good, so fast-paced, and it does reflect in the ratings. And that was great to see the different platforms that they use, as well as Zeta. Zeta is the programming software that they use to run KIIS FM, as well as all the other ARN stations, regional and metro. And that was all great to see. Wednesday was probably one of my highlights. I got to spend a great deal of time with the Workday announcer, Gordy Waters, who next year expands to 5 capital cities. He's currently doing 3. He's currently doing Brisbane, Sydney, and Melbourne, and he expands to Adelaide on the newly rebranded KIIS 102.3, as well as the brand new Perth DAB+. You can follow the Perth DAB+ account on Instagram, and that's great. I've seen some great work from him. He has such a massive passion for radio, such enthusiasm, and always high energy, and it was great to see some of the breaks he puts together. We recorded a few videos together, especially on the newly put into place social media ban for under 16s, which has been proven to not work as effectively as the government thought. Anyway, I won't get too political. We can save that for biz politics. Yeah, but so that was my Wednesday with Gordy. It was great to spend some time with, honestly, I think the person who spends the most amount of time on air, 5 hours across 3 capital cities, and next year expanding to Adelaide and Perth as well. Now, Thursday, my second last day at ARN for the week, I got to sit down with the amazing team that produces the Love Island Officially Unpacked podcast, produced by Channel 9, ITV, and the KIIS Network. The producer of that podcast also produces the Weekend Brekkie show for Chris Page and Amy Gerard. I'll talk a bit more about that later as that went on in the day. But it was good to see some drama in the podcast. I believe it was Matteo who was being interviewed. He called up and asked out Boston, I believe those were their names. You can correct me if I'm wrong. It was the Thursday podcast. I believe there's only 4 of them put out in a week, and I believe it was one of the more recent ones. And it was really interesting to see the studio that they used was the same one they used to record the Pickup in, and they move all the stuff around. It's really good to see how they transform it and make the different sets, and how much attention to detail with even tiny props on set, with whether it be books in the background. The attention to detail is great, and it looks great. The set looks really good. You can see some photos on Instagram if you follow me, Maxi_Monday13. That's my handle. Anyway, that was my Thursday. I got to witness a tiny bit of the Weekend Brekkie show recording. Chris Page and Amy Gerard, 8 to 10 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. And that was really interesting to see the different types of topics that they talk about towards the end of the year, ramping up a bit more Christmas sort of stuff, as well as, of course, their more family style content talking about mums, parents, kids, all that sort of, you know what I mean. But yeah, so that was my Thursday. Thursday was a shorter day for me. I left a bit earlier. But anyway, on to Friday. And by the way, I'm going day by day. I haven't written any of this down. I'm going off my memory. So if I do forget anything, you can always read the Radio Today article. But of course, I'm a primary source, I'd say. Friday was, I'd say, one of my most interesting days, one of my most fun days. I got to sit in with the amazing Brooklyn Ross, the newsreader and one of the main stars of the Kyle and Jackie O show. He was great here. He was watching Biz by the Water and giving me a few tips, as well as the Biz Audio and Biz Politics podcast. Brooklyn is a great newsreader, and I believe he's also on Channel 7 with one of the other KIIS Brisbane newsreaders, Alana Riley. I'm pretty sure her name is. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm really sorry. I'm not. I've got too many names to remember, and I'm trying to double check. Oh, my phone is playing some sort of audio. Well, lovely. But anyway, back to that. So Brooklyn, yeah, that was great. I got to see the different news he puts out, especially the sport, and Cooper John's, of course, reading some of the sports news as well. But it was great to see the energy that he puts into his work. And I also got to assist the promotions department in handing over some of the prize for one of the biggest competitions for the year, apart from the Dawn Dig back in earlier 2025. The You Get a Santa Sack Day, it was incredible. One of the great things I witnessed was seeing the reactions of people when they got to pick up their prizes. A lot of them didn't have to buy Christmas presents. From what I understand, there was an Acer laptop, a scooter, a slushy machine, air fryer, AirPods, the flashlight that Kyle's always talking about, the Star Patrol, I believe that's what it's called. And there were a few other things in there. And there was a Dyson vacuum, I'm pretty sure, or something close to a Dyson hairdryer. That's what it was. There's so many prizes worth up to. Oh, there's a TV as well. I don't know what it was worth up to, but it was great handing those over to the members of the public who did win them on air. And it was great to see their reactions. So genuine, so happy that they finally won something. And we did video some of their reactions, and I don't know if they'll be posted soon. But yeah, it was honestly great to see how it all runs. And most of them did come and pick it up on the day, from what I understand. And I did love meeting some of the listeners and seeing what they thought of the KIIS FM and the Kyle and Jackie O show. Some of them were first-time callers who had won. Some of them were long-time callers who'd never won anything, and this was their first time winning. And it was great to see. I'm glad that they did win something, and congratulations to all the winners there. I also did get a bit of merch. I got 2 Kyle and Jackie O t-shirts and a few gold 101.7 shirts. I'm going to quickly rewind back to Wednesday. I just realized I did get to meet the wonderful Jonesy and Amanda. And if you don't know who Jonesy and Amanda are, ARN owns 2 other stations, Cater and the newly rebranded Gold 101.7. You might know it as WSFM. I got to meet the breakfast duo there, Jonesy and Amanda. They are moving to the drive time slot next year, and that was very interesting to talk to them and what they thought of some of their achievements and their career so far. Like, looking back on their career, they've achieved so many amazing things. They've been one of the more consistent duos or breakfast teams in Sydney that have rated well in the ratings. I would say that they've been close to second or third, and the station does really well overall. They've had a bit of a more decline this year, but I would say that they are such a great duo. Lots of my family members do love them and do love listening to them. And I wish them best of luck on the fruited plains of Drive next year, Drive Time Radio. But anyway, yeah, that was great to meet them. Got a photo with them. Jonesy, oh, my computer is making more noises. Anyway, Jonesy is very playful, very funny. And of course, Amanda, I don't know how she still puts up with. That was a joke. I'm trying to be funny. Anyway, yeah, so that was great to meet them. I met most of my stars. On Friday, I also got a photo with Jackie and Brooklyn. Kyle was off to the airport, I believe, at around 9 o'clock. But one of the things I did see, he was in his car, and the audio quality from his car was still incredible. He had one of the professional microphones, very similar to what I have, I believe. And it was still amazing quality, no compromise in that, even though he was in a car. And the fact that they can do this all digitally is amazing and still get the video up. And it was great. And of course, they signed off for the final time for the year on Friday, December 12th, exactly a week ago now. I just realized that. And it was great to meet all my stars. such a great experience for lifetime. You can read more about it on radiotoday.com.au. I got Jackie O to sign my Jackie O book, so that was one of my highlights as well. But other than that, yeah, I'm happy with the merch. It was such an amazing experience. I'd like to say a big thank you to Duncan Campbell, DB, Petho, Chris, Gordy, all the people that made it a great experience for me. And if I am missing anyone's name, I'm very sorry. I do apologize. It's Friday, almost Christmas, almost the end of the year. We're all tired and we're all forgetting to do things. But anyway, that is the final Biz Audio podcast for the year, everyone. Congratulations. Thank you all for tuning in this year. It is the second podcast that the Biz Network has produced. And of course, we have the third one, Biz Politics. If you're looking for a summer show, Biz by the Water is releasing the Summer Biz podcast with Max and Lucas. And my phone is ringing. Next time, remind me. I should put my phone on silent. Anyway, it's been a great year, everyone. Very productive. Lots going on. I hope you enjoy this podcast. And hopefully next year I'll have some more radio news to give. Right now, I don't think there's too much. Radio Today is sort of signed off, as well as I'm about to sign off from giving my radio news updates. But as of today, I believe it was Ducko's last day on Hit with Jess and Ducko. He's moving to Nova next year. So big news with that. Of course, he'll be missed, but I think Brisbane will love having him around. Anyway, have a safe Christmas, Happy New Year, and I hope you've enjoyed the Biz Audio News this year. Just as I'm looking at radio today before I sign off, Jamie Burnett is to present 6PR Drive in 2026, and that's really it. Of course, Robin, Kip, and Corey Oates are returning January 19th, and I'm really happy about that. No one saw it coming. Anyway, I'll see you all in 2026.